All right, y'all. We got a special edition today. We're sitting in a barber shop. You know what I'm saying? This is my partner Jay. This is what we do when, we got downtime. You know what I'm saying? High level conversations, the Ops podcast. Today we pretty much topping up with fear. Fear is always a factor when people are talking about starting their own thing, their own business. A lot of times fear is what drives those excuses. So I mean, we just gonna throw it back and forth, man. Like, what you think? Why do you think most people talk about or have visions on certain stuff, but they don't necessarily like act on it? What's stopping them?
Uh, I remember before I started doing my barbecue stuff, I always had the idea to start the barbecue and sell plates. You know, people used to always ask me too, "Oh man," when I post stuff on my Instagram, like I'll post my barbecue, and people will ask me, "Oh man, you sell plates, man? Can I get some?" And I don't know. So I always thought I had a little thing for that. I always wanted to start it, and then I don't know. Like, I guess that is fear. Yeah, I guess it is fear.
So, like, what?
Like, like when I was thinking about it, it doesn't like seem like it's fear at first, because it just seems like, yeah, like I'm already doing this. I'm already a barber. I'm doing this.
Okay, so let me ask you this: what made you not start it as soon as the idea crossed your mind? As soon as you got that vision, I'm gonna sell plates. This is what I'm gonna do. What made it take, however long it took before you actually got started? What do you think?
Well, I feel like I ain't gonna lie. I feel like a part of me. It's like I'm lazy a little bit. I can be lazy at times, so I have an idea, and I'm just like, ah. And it's like that momentum. It's like you, like when you're talking about it, you're in the moment. It sounds good. It sounds great. Then you sleep on it. You wake up the next day, and you just kind of forget about it. It's like, oh, it's like it's in your back of your mind still, but you kind of just forget about it and just go back to your regular routine.
So,
So
so what do you think made it like from one day to the next where it sounded good, you had the idea and it's like, okay, I can do this, I can see myself doing this, to where the next day when you woke up, it was kind of like that idea was already behind you, to where,
well,
it had to resurface again.
feel like part of it is um like part of it was just like shit, awesome shit. Nigga needs some bread, need some money, you know what I'm saying? And I was thinking about applying the jobs, getting a little part-time job, and I just thought like, okay, maybe I can just do this little thing on the side. Maybe, make a little $200-300, here and there to help get some more money. And I don't know, and it was always something I wanted to do. So
So what do you think was like the final like motivating factor? Was it the lack of money? Was it wanting to create another resource for money? Or like what do you think actually to
yeah,
where
I
you was
think
like,
everything at once coming together. Lack of money. Um, maybe having the entrepreneurship mindset. I want to say those two things for sure. I always had a passion for cooking and barbecuing, so I always thought I kind of be good at it. And people always ask me before anyway when I made food, like, "Oh man, you make food, man? I'll buy something from you." So I always had the idea like, "Oh, I could probably make money doing this." So and yeah, I think it's all those things coming together at one time to just say, "Fuck it, let me just try to do it." You know what I mean? Let's just see. And it's been turning out pretty good. It's been better than I thought it would be.
so what would you say like after, even in the process of like figuring out how what exactly you gonna cook, how you gonna work your plates, like how you gonna do it, what do you think was like the final thing to where you was like, all right, I'm doing this today. I'm starting this on this day.
It was probably some motivation too, because I have my parents telling me they'll support me, do all that. My girl telling me she's gonna support me, do it. You was telling me, supporting me. My friends, oh yeah, man, do it. So it was support. The support and the motivation I got from everybody else too. So that was a big part of it. I had a lot of friends telling me, oh yeah, man, you should definitely, do that, do this. You
So
never know.
so so do you think it's like where a lot of people like maybe hesitate on their ideas or not act? Do you think it comes from like lack of support? Because I know support can be big. You know what I'm saying? If you got the right support, because some people will support the idea because they think you ain't gonna do it, and they trying to motivate you just to be like, "Oh, I told you, you know, it wasn't gonna work," or you know, when they say, "Oh, you got this little business," I feel like those are the people who really don't support you. But you
Yeah.
know,
People
it,
who do be throwing little slick shots of all your little business. Like, okay, you know, my little business is right.
exactly, and
Yeah.
those to me, in my opinion, like those are the people who don't really have the vision for themselves. So they kind of like because they can't see themselves doing it, and they kind of like have a certain level of fear. They kind of like downplay it. Oh, you're gonna start your little business or this or that, and it's to me, it's like it's just it has to do with the vision too. Because like I know when he brought the idea, he already had an idea of like where to get the actual plates from, where to get the supplies from, how you going, you know what I'm saying, like market it to people. So to me, it was like seeing a vision all the way through. Because a lot of people have an idea, but if they don't have a vision on how to execute their idea, then it's just an idea. Oh, I thought about doing that. Oh, I thought about this, but it's like, okay, so you thought about it. What stopped you from thinking about it in depth to where you actually executed on the plan? Because I mean, I feel like we all know people who probably have $1 million ideas. You know what I'm saying? But it's like if you don't start, then I mean, it can never grow into something. You know what I'm saying? As big as what you visualize it could be. So I think half the battle is like getting started. What you think?
So like back to that question you asked earlier about like the support thing. Like based on the person, it's differently, I know we had that one client that was doing the cookies
Oh
and
yeah, yeah,
we was telling her, oh yeah, you should do this, you should do that, and she received it well.
right,
We're gonna do it. You know what I
right.
mean? And then compared to some I have friends who say they want to do this and say they want to do that, and I'll try to support them. Oh yeah, man, you should definitely do it. And then it's like it's excuses, and sometimes I feel attacked. Like what I mean, like damn, like like I'll try to help you. Like I'm hearing what you're saying, I'm hearing what you want to do, your visions, your passion. You know what I mean? And I try to be that motivation for certain people. So sometimes people take it well, and then sometimes people don't take it well. It's like I don't know, people don't want to hear it or can't explain it. It's like weird, not weird, but different. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
because it's like it's everything you're saying. You're telling me something, and oh yes, maybe you should do this or you should do that. But I can't really say because even my girl tells me all the time. She's like, "You have a lot of good ideas, and you don't ever act on it. You never do nothing about it." So even me, it's like we all have that problem in some type of way, shape, or form. We all kind of struggle with doing things that we want to do, but we just I mean, the hardest part is the first step. Once you do the first step, it's easy. Everything else is easy. But that first step, like taking that first step, it's the unknown. I think part of that too is the unknown. You don't know. Like, you take I want to do this, I want to do that. You take the first step and you're afraid to take that first step because you never took a step. Like, you never did that before. But
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
and
I think that's a good point. Not to cut you off, but I
no,
think
you
that's a
good.
good point because I feel like working is comfortable, and in our culture, growing up, a lot of times, we presented with jobs. Go be a nurse, go be a doctor, go do this. All those jobs that we feel like are lucrative and is going to pay good money, but at the end of the day, you still working for somebody. And I think that slave mentality comes from not really having that example. Because I know for me, it was easy for me to know what I wanted to do and know I wanted to work for myself because I grew up seeing my mom with the daycare business. She had a daycare, and from the daycare, she branched off and she opened up her own preschool. So when it came time for me to do something for myself, I don't want to say I knew the process, but I had enough faith in myself and I believed in myself based on the examples that I already had in front of me. You know what I'm saying? So you may come from a family of entrepreneurs, you may not, but like, what made you realize that you want to be a barber and work for yourself?
Well, honestly, I feel like I come from a family of hustlers. You know, my grandma, she was a hustler, worked, you know, two, three jobs, had three kids, raised, you know, all kids by herself. So she was hustling, doing, you know, going to church from church, playing the piano, going, you know what I mean? Events like that. My mom, same thing, working two, three jobs, going here, doing this, doing that, you know what I mean? Hustling. So I always grew up like, you know, thinking that was normal. So, you have to have multiple, you know, do multiple things, you know what I mean? Just to
Right.
make it out here,
Seeing
you know,
the hustle, seeing people
just to hustle.
grind.
So I always felt like I had that hustle in me for sure. And yeah, like you say, like times is a little harder now. You know, I
So
feel
I
like
mean, how old was you when you started going to barber school? Because I'm sure you had a job before you went to barber school.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So like, how old was you when you started going to barber school, and what made you be like, I ain't doing this job no more?
yeah. So that's a little long story to try to sum it up quick. Man, I told my parents I wanted to be a barber when I was like 9 years old, 10 years old. I always thought that was interesting. You know, always thought that was interesting to be a barber. So you know, you grow up, you go to school, you play football, whatever you do. You know, do a high school. And so when you graduate high school, you know, you start realizing like, damn, like, what am I going to do? And like, what am I, you know, and all you kind of been, as far as me, all I've been hearing growing up is like, oh, you have to go to college and get a degree. You have to go to college and be a doctor, be a lawyer, go to college, be a doctor and a lawyer, when there's a whole bunch of different jobs. But, you know, for the most part, like, that's what I heard growing up. Oh, go to college, go to college 4 years, get a doctor, lawyer. You know what I mean? That's like the only two. But you know, when you go out of high school, like when I got out, graduated from high school, I know I'm not a good student. You know, I know I'm not trying to sit there and study. I'm not trying to go to 4 years. If I didn't do good in high school, you know, I'm not going to do good in college. So, started working jobs, started doing this. You know, getting a job, you know, get fired, get another job. So it was just a process. And I always told myself, oh, when I get a car, I'm gonna go to barber school. Got my first car, I ain't go to barber school. That was the last thing on my mind.
Right.
That's just more so pushed the process back. When my car broke down, I'm like, damn. When I get my next car, I'm gonna go to barber school. Got my next car, I didn't go to barber school. Still working, doing this, trying to get money, trying to do all this. When that second car broke down, all I'm thinking is like, damn, I told myself 2 times when I got a car, I'm gonna go to barber school. Now I didn't go to barber school when I got a car. So I'm not gonna wait till I get another car to go to barber school.
Right.
I'm gonna just go to barber school and say fuck it. So yeah, taking 2 buses, 4 buses to get to barber school and back. So I guess the decision was just like when I made to go to barber school was more so like I knew I kept lying to myself. Like I don't know why I was telling myself when I get this or do that, I'm gonna go to barber school. Because when I got all those things I said I was gonna get, when I got it, I never went. You know what I mean? So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna start making excuses. I'm gonna go. It's only, you know, 8, 9 months. I can knock it out. You know what I mean? And this shit, you know, this shit just gotta work for me. This shit gotta work for me. So I think that was the deciding factor. Is like I'm tired of bouncing from job to job, doing this, doing that. You know what I mean? And I'm having that motivation, you know what I mean? So like I said earlier, all three of those things, you know what I mean? The motivation, the support, you know, all that, you know what I mean? Being broke, you know, not having money, you know what I mean? All that together made me like say, fuck it, I'm gonna go to barber school. And
That's
that first step was, and honestly with barber school, I told all my friends who asked me about going to barber school, I told them the first step is the hardest step. The first step is the hardest step. Putting that step into the school and, you know, asking, inquiring, and tell. Like once you start, like after the second, third day, it feels normal. It feels like you've been doing it forever.
Because that's something you
The
told
first
yourself
step.
you was gonna do all along.
Yeah, I told myself when I get this, I'm gonna go. I got it. I got it twice. I didn't go. So I knew I was making excuses. So I'm like, fuck it. And I'm saying, tired of being broke, tired of getting fired from jobs, getting whatever, quitting. You know what I mean? Thinking this is gonna work out.
So let me ask you this, and I'm gonna ask y'all too. So what do y'all feel like? What do y'all feel like when it comes to like people making excuses to not do stuff? I mean, do you feel like it comes to a point to where those excuses keep them comfortable? Do you think those excuses come from not knowing what it takes, or I mean, where do those excuses come from to the point to where it's like you said, you told yourself, first car I said I was going to do it, second car I said I was going to do it. I'm not going to keep telling myself the same thing. I'm going to do it regardless.
Mm.
So why do you feel like a lot of people make those excuses to not do or to not execute on their vision? Do you think it comes from like we were saying before, you think it comes from lack of support? You think it comes from not having the faith in yourself or not having the examples? Like, where do you think that come from to where people make excuses? Because we both got friends who said they want to do certain stuff. I know plenty of people who said, I want to be a barber, but then they come up with a valid excuse to justify why they're not going to do it and go back to the plantation and keep working as opposed to stepping out
I've
on
heard
faith.
some of the crazy excuses from some of my friends of why they don't want to go to barber school. They'll say something in the back of my head. I'm just thinking like, yeah, that's the reason, huh? But
But I mean, you think that excuse is like, it's more comfortable to just make an excuse and like live behind that reason to where it's like, oh, I'm not gonna do this because I don't have the time, or I'm not gonna do it. Like, why do you think they settle in those excuses? Basically, what I'm asking.
that's a good question.
Because you didn't settle in your excuse. You told yourself
I
that.
settled for a little bit though.
Yeah, but you told yourself that twice, and after you seen certain things wasn't changing, and you can't keep making the same excuse, you made a decision. You got up one day, you was like, man, I'm about to go up in this school, I'm about to walk up in here, I'm about to apply, and we gonna roll the dice and take it from there.
Yeah.
So why do you think people is like, especially our people, black people, why do you think they more hesitant to like act on the excuses that they give themselves?
I feel like maybe, damn, that's a good question. It's a good ass question. Why do people make excuses?
And I know you can't really answer that because you only gave yourself an excuse twice, and then it was like, all right, no more excuses. Same thing with the barbecue thing. Like,
But I feel like with the barbecue thing, I feel like back when I was working at Blazing Phase, I felt like I told myself that probably like for the last like 4 years I wanted to do plates and I didn't do it till about 2 months ago. I just started doing it, so I do it. So that's a good question. Like I don't know why. I don't know. Shit.
no, yeah, same thing for me because like the whole gunsmith school thing, like that was something, and go back from being at the range and stuff like that. That was something that I thought about like for a
Years
while.
ago, yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't
Before COVID.
Before COVID,
Yeah.
but it wasn't until I started seeing my life go a certain way to where I was like,
This ain't it.
this ain't it. I don't want to do this no more. And it's still, still doing it because you got to work your job or whatever to be able to fund your business. You know what I'm saying? Just like Jay, he's still in the shop, he's still grinding, but he's able to use those resources to supply the food for the barbecue, to get the plates, to have the gas to run around, to, you know what I mean? So it's not like
90% of my customers are my clients. Shit. And they people, you know what I mean? And yeah, so things, and that's one thing about taking the first step that everybody's afraid of. But I mean, I can't guarantee you taking the first step is going to be, you're going to be successful. But I feel like if you're consistent and you're a good person, you know what I mean, you do good, you know what I mean, you wish good onto others. When you do take that first step, I feel like shit will open up for you. Like you don't know how, like I don't know how. Like when I went to barber school, I didn't know how she was going to open up for me, but two or three of the students, they live right by me. So, okay, I was able to get a ride sometimes. I was able to, Justin was able to give me a ride to this, I was able to take the bus. I was able to shit open up for me to where,
okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
So let me ask you,
and people are willing to, when people see you trying, people are willing to go out their way to bless you, to go out. And like I say, you won't even notice, like, not notice, but you won't even expect it. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, this dude helped me out. This dude, you know what I mean, did this, did that. You know what I mean? So
let me ask you this: how long you been cutting?
Shit, I have my license for what, 8 years?
So
7, 8 years.
So from the time you got started to the time you got now, like, are you surprised with the results you got, or was it something when you first walked in there, you was determined and you had a made up mind that, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make this work.
Like, what you mean?
Like as far as like, are you surprised how it turned out?
Am I surprised? Like how
how the
barbering
whole
turned out?
journey turned out for you to be successful as a barber and to be able to make a career out of it and
A
be
little
working
bit
for
surprised.
yourself.
A little bit. It's when I was in, at my first shop. Um, it was it was a very good shop. So I wasn't in the moment. I didn't really, like it was great. You know what I mean? I was more surprised when I left the first shop. You know how I left and the matter I left. You know what I mean? Go to the first shop and end up here now. I'm more so surprised of like the clients that still come to me. You know what I mean? I'm surprised of like, yeah, surprised like as far as like, okay, like I'm, like,
Making
yeah,
it.
yeah, making it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I can come in on a Sunday, for 3 hours and
Make your bread.
make what I was making at Home Depot for what it took me 3 days to make at Home Depot. I could make that like
And half a day in the shop.
4 or 5 hours, 3 4 days. Like yeah,
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
I think it's big to where like people don't really realize like the blessings that come with jumping off the porch. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, like I said before, people have those $1 million ideas, but if they don't jump off the porch and get that momentum when the idea come in the moment, then it's easy to look up. Like I'm sure your friends, they remember you went to barber school,
Hmm.
and now it's crazy for them. I'm sure to see you now done been at a couple different shops, and now you know what I'm saying we here in the suite running our own thing, and it's just I know for them it's probably still something that's unexplained because they vision only goes so far.
Mm.
So that's what I mean by like, was you surprised? Because me personally, I can't really say I'm surprised, but I am surprised how like I always been resilient, always been able to bounce back. Because me and Jay was working in the same shop. He was already there. I worked there for like a couple years, maybe 2 3 years, and then after doing it all this time, I decided to jump off the porch and partner up with somebody. You know what I'm saying? And that turned out the way it did. But at the end of the day, even when we lose as entrepreneurs, there's a greater lesson to be learned. You know what I'm saying? And it just make you appreciate, you know what I'm saying, places that you come from or places that you already been. And I think just that whole dynamic and that mentality of I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna clock in, I'm gonna go do this. That's playing it safe. You know what I'm saying? That's playing it safe. And like Nipsey said, if you ain't willing to risk it, then I mean, you just gotta accept what's given to you. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like even you was willing to risk whatever came with people trying your food, you know? And food
Yeah,
is a delicate thing.
for sure.
Some people could have been like, "Oh man, this shit nasty" or whatever.
Hey,
And
one of my
that
homies told
so
me.
I can ask you that. Are you surprised with the results you got from the food? Because that's the newest business venture that you took on. So are you surprised how many people buy plates? How many people ask you weeks in advance, hey man, you doing plates this week? Like,
Yeah,
did that surprise you?
it surprised me a little bit, just because of the support. I don't know. It's my first time kind of doing it. I'm still learning as I go. You know what I mean? Like I said, I just took my first step in that. So it was, and taking your first step, it's supposed to be nervous. You're supposed to be kind of a little scared for sure because you don't know what to expect. So you're gonna be scared. You're gonna be nervous. But like I said, as you go, yeah, you're definitely surprised of like the support and people, and it's almost like people have been waiting for you to do. People have been waiting, like whatever you want to do. People have been waiting for you to do that. You know what I mean? If you want to sell plates, people have been waiting for you to buy plates. If you want to be a barber, people have been waiting to get a haircut from you. If you want to, whatever you want to do in life, man, people have been waiting for you to do that. So
And I
it's like
think
this whole clientele out there that's waiting for you. Literally, like they're literally waiting for you to do whatever you want to do, and you just gotta take that first step, man. You'll definitely be surprised. You know what I mean? And but it is something. I mean, that did come with like me. Like I've been grilling since I was a little kid. So as far as people being surprised of like it being good, not really, but the support for sure. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And just what that can lead to. Like I never knew that can lead to like one of my clients. He owns a business and he ordered 10 plates for his whole employees. You know what I mean? So you'll have one customer that can order 15, 20 plates, and that's what's been happening pretty much. It's like yeah, I might have 3 or 4 customers today, but this customer's ordering 7, this customer's ordering 15, this customer's ordering 10. So you can have like 3 or 4 customers, and that can be lucrative, in a way. You know what I mean? So
And I
you never
think
know.
I think that goes back to kind of like on a spiritual tip to where it's like if you're living in your purpose, God will always supply the provisions. He gonna provide, and I think that's where I think it's a faith thing too. Just the whole entrepreneur is definitely a lot of faith involved because you know, like for me, I went from one business to the next, from one month to the next, and basically started all over. And Jay did too. But we knew like, man, if we can do this over here, we can come over here and we can make it a little bit better. We have more of our hands on it. But that wasn't just like something that came out of the sky. That was from already seeing how God has blessed me and God bless you too to be able to, walk in your purpose. Because I mean, we encounter a lot of different conversations, a lot of different situations. It was a lady in here earlier and it just seemed like she was sent at a certain time. You know what I mean? Just based on the conversations that we have. So I feel like people don't realize the blessings that come with, what I'm saying, taking that step because that's all this is about, really. Taking that first step, having faith in yourself, and understanding that, you know, if you believe, then God is going to bless that belief. You know what I'm saying? What you think? You think a lot of it has to do with faith?
Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah, because you don't know. You know what I mean? That's all you get. That's all you
That's
got.
all you banking
Shit, that's
on.
all you got.
That's
It's
all you
faith,
banking on.
hope, faith. You know what I mean? Pray, stay prayed up. Like when I make the place, like I pray over the food before I send it out. You know what I mean? So yeah, faith for sure, man, for sure, faith, and yeah, you just gotta take that first step. You know what I mean? Gotta take that first step, and all the steps. You take the first step, the second, third step is easy.
Yeah.
Like first step,
Yeah.
okay, I felt it. I can see.
Right.
You know what I mean? All right, now you take the second step, third step, and it just keeps going. You know what I mean? And it was something you said earlier, but I forgot. I was gonna say something, but so it's something you said. Yeah.
So let me ask you this: being an entrepreneur and you running 2 different businesses, what would be your advice to somebody that maybe have that vision, but they haven't really executed on? Like we both know people who have said, "I mean, I thought about doing this or do it." So, like, what would be your advice to them? And I mean, you know, as far as getting started or taking that first step.
Yeah. Um, that's a tough question. Not tough, but my advice, somebody who wants to do something, I just feel like, man, you just gotta stop making excuses. Just gotta stop making excuses. Find some time. Um, yeah, you just gotta stop making excuses and just kind of just gotta say fuck it, man. Like fuck it, fuck it. You got one life to live. Fuck it. You're gonna do it. You know what I mean? You kind of just have that fucking mentality. You know what I mean? It's like fuck it, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? You don't worry about what other people think. Don't worry about what other people got to say about you. People gonna talk whether you do it or not. People gonna talk shit on you anyway. You know what I mean? And people gonna have talk good on you. You know what I mean? So whether you do anything, people are always gonna talk. So if you're worried about what other people think, you're living your life based off other people. You know what I mean? So that's definitely not a way to live. So yeah, don't worry about what other people think. What they say, they gonna talk shit. You know, you gotta just say fuck it. I'm gonna do it.
Oh
You know.
yeah, definitely. I think that's a great point because a lot of times I think people hesitate on doing stuff because they worried about what they circle gonna say or how they gonna be viewed or who gonna have something to say or you know what I'm saying? People that's not gonna support you. And what I learned from business is when you starting something, your family ain't gonna be your customers all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't bank on your family being the ones to support and keep your business going. It's billions of people out here, and it's like if you're not able to see like past what people gonna have to say, past what people gonna think, because not everybody is gonna like it. Not everybody is gonna hate it. Not everybody like my haircuts, but I have a majority of people, enough people that do, that's keeping me in business over the last 20 years. And I never worried about what nobody had to say because people like people, for different reasons or whatever they have. They might like their conversations. They might like how they dress. People find the dumbest reasons to support you sometimes. And it's like at the end of the day, not listening to what people got to say, not caring what people got to say, and having that made up mind and just not accepting excuses for yourself. Like to me, that's the worst thing you can do, especially as a man, is to make an excuse and allow that excuse to justify your lack of action. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, okay, well, I told myself this and this is that, and that's it. That's all that's left. So this is my reason why I can't do it. So it's kind of like, you don't ask me, I can't do what you do. And it's like, a lot of times we try to motivate people because we see the blessings that come with being an entrepreneur and stuff like that. And then it's like, it's almost a defeating thing to where you can tell the wrong person your vision or the wrong person your idea, and they'll easily knock it down because it's not something that they can see. So I just feel like, having the right people around you, like we started with the support and all that, having the right people around you, seeing the right examples, all that can make or break, your decision making as far as taking that first step.
Hmm. Yeah. Because what we're gonna say, yeah, waiting for people. That's gonna. It's like I have a group chat with my brother and a couple of his friends, and this group chat is probably like 8 years old, 9 years old. This is before I was barber, so this group chat had to be over 9 years old. We have a conversation in there talking about taking a group trip to Miami.
And how long y'all been talking about that trip?
8, 9 years. That shit ain't never came. So if you waiting on, like, if you're trying to take a trip with a group and you waiting on other people to, man, you ain't never gonna go. You know what I mean? You're never gonna go. Okay? So if you're waiting on people or somebody or something to happen, that time might never come. So I wouldn't wait on nothing. You know what I mean? If you want to take a trip to over here, you book your trip, send a screenshot in the group chat, like, oh, I'm going this day. Who wants to come? No one, and even if no one comes, fuck it, I'm going. Like, I'm going by myself, taking that first step. Go. Do what you gotta do. You know?
For sure. Definitely, you definitely don't want to wait on nobody. And I feel like the only person you should wait on is God to actually give you that strength, give you that momentum. Put that vision upon your shoulders in that moment, and those are things I think we overlook because a lot of those things don't just come out the sky. You know what I'm saying? When you get ideas, they supported by things, experiences, stuff like that. But those visions and those ideas, that's coming from God. I mean, like me and Jay was riding through the same parking lot, months back, and we seen the building. We were just going to get something to eat. But because of the circumstances that we was in at that time, it was kind of like, shit, this is all happening for a reason. We driving past this building, we seeing this building, and as soon as the vision came, I asked him that same day, and he was like, shit, let's do it. There was no hesitation. And from there, it was just planning the process, understanding the process, knowing what it was going to take, planning our move from one place to the next. But that wasn't something that I was driving in the car thinking like, damn, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do. It just kind of came to me because the plan before that was to keep riding with the same group of people that, we was already in business with. So I feel like that spiritual connection and having some type of relationship with God and understanding when he talking to you and he telling you something and understanding that's his voice telling you. And if you don't move and get that momentum, you're going to look up and you're going to see somebody else doing what they said. Because like we said before, He had friends who talked about selling plates. He had friends who talked about going to barber school. I had friends who talked about going to barber school, opening their own shop, being a barber instructor. And it's like we look up and they still talking about doing it. And it's like all this time has passed and they didn't grab that momentum. So now they left to look at other people examples and still be talking about the same thing. So just to sum up the conversation, I mean, I think some great points was made, and I think it comes down to, for one, taking that first step, uh, not accepting excuses for yourself, and what I'm saying, just being willing to fail. Because if you're not willing to fail, then you ain't gonna never try. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is for me. I'm willing to fail because I know in every loss it's gonna be a lesson.
I was just about to say that. Shit, you learn some valuable lessons failing. You learn you learn exactly what not to do. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ever get that chance, man, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. You know exactly what you're gonna do. So I mean, I feel like sometimes to be like really successful, yeah, you gotta fail. You gotta fail because you don't never know what that side feels like, or you don't never know how to bounce back from that side. You know what I mean? If you never if you're walking, like when you learn, crawl
Yeah,
before you
for
walk.
sure. If you
If
don't
you never
fall,
fail, you know what I mean, and you
right,
fall, like you're not gonna know how to get back up. You know what I mean? So yeah, you gotta know how to get back up too. So
man,
yeah, because
that's
it's easy to be like when you're on,
when you're
kind of
on
like
top.
with me, like when my first job, I felt like I was on top as far as the shop. It was good, it was hella walk-ins. Everybody was making money. I felt like I was on top. You know what I mean? So when that situation closed and I had to go to another situation, it was nowhere near like that. You know what I mean? I felt like I was, like failing in a sense. You know what I mean? So but with that failing process, it came a lot of good things. Like I've learned, I've learned. It's like, so it made me better. It made me better. It made me more knowledgeable. It made me, for sure appreciate certain things more. So I definitely learned a lot. You know what I mean? From both sides. You know what I mean? So, and I learned to pick myself back up. You know what I mean? 'Cause I never knew. I never knew how to pick myself. I was always,
There's always winning.
I was, man, I was.
I'm on top of the world.
Yeah.
I'm on top of the
Silver
world.
spoons. I was at the first barbershop I was at. It was silver spoons, gold spoons. I was hand fed over there. I was cool. You know what I mean? So when I left, it was no more. It was no more of that shit. So I had to learn how to pick myself back up, and it took me a while. And yeah, it was a hard time for me for sure. You know what I mean? I went through some hard times for sure. You know what I mean? But overall, I learned, got better, and yeah, I learned a lot. Learned a lot, made me better for sure. And if it ever happened again, I know how to.
You know how
You
to
know what I
pick
mean? I'm
yourself
never
up.
tripping.
You're
Like,
not
you know
even
what I mean?
tripping.
I know how to. I'm not afraid of that step no more. I did
Right,
that. I did that step. You know what I mean?
right,
So if it ever
right,
happen again, cool.
right.
I'm going down
Take it
here,
all
do
in
this. I'm gonna do
stride.
this.
Yeah,
I did it before. I did the process. I know what the process takes. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
never tripping.
Oh yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
sure, for sure.
Not to say it won't be difficult. You know what I mean? Not to say if it happens again. Not to say it won't be difficult. It's still gonna be difficult. You just know how to maneuver now. You know how to. You know certain things about. You know what I mean? You know how to. Certain shortcuts, certain. Approaches you should take. You know what I mean? So that's all it is. It's still gonna be hard, but you'll just know how to do it better. You know how to handle it better. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. I think that's a great point, man. We're gonna pretty much close on that because picking yourself up after a loss, that's everything. And I think as an entrepreneur, that's like a muscle. That's like a muscle that we build to be able to pick ourselves up just based on the losses. Because I know if there were situations where I never lost, then I really wouldn't know how to win. I really wouldn't know how to maneuver and not do this or not make this same mistake twice or not do this. And that's all part of, being willing to fail because you're going to fail. And like we hear it all the time from all the successful people. Man, I tried this, I tried that. I've been doing different things 101 time, and it wasn't until that 102nd time that I got it right. And now that changed my life forever. So I feel like, that's key. And it's not really a whole lot more to be said than, what I'm saying? Be willing to pick yourself up. Don't be scared of that loss. Damn all the excuses. Excuses is for the weak. and just, have that faith in yourself to where you're willing to try it. Because the worst thing is going to happen is you're going to learn something. That's the worst that can happen from you trying something and it don't work. That lesson is more valuable than the idea that you've been sitting on. So that's pretty much what it is for me, man. You got anything else you want to add before we close it up?
Uh, now I just hope everybody that is thinking about an idea, thinking about doing something, and is kind of hesitant, man. Hope you take that first step, man, because things will open up for you. You don't know how. I can't tell you how. You don't know how, but like that faith, that first step, along with being a good person, doing good, having a good business, things will open up for you, man, and it'll be cool. You gotta take that first step.
For sure.
That's really it.
For sure. For sure. Where there y'all have it. Live from the suite, man. This is just the shop talk. You know what I'm saying? We decided to do this. Y'all can check us out on the Real Ops podcast and just understand, like, the only ops out here is the ones in your mind. You know what I'm saying? That you create, whether it's you scared to jump on the opportunity or you saying this person don't like you, whatever. All that opposition, all that's cap, man. And on the Real Ops podcast, we're gonna make sure we bring y'all stuff that's gonna, be food for thought. And y'all digest it how y'all want to. You know what I'm saying? You can take it and run with it, or you could be on the hating side and be like, oh, them niggas don't know what they talking about. But you see what we talking about. We not talking about nothing. We not talking about nothing that we not living. Y'all can tap in. I'm gonna let him shoot out his page. What's your barbecue page, man? Let the people know your barbecue page.
Jay Barbecue Slapping.
There y'all go.
Yeah, we'll put the little link up there for you.
Jay Barbecue Slapping. And if y'all need a cut, you ever in the Anaheim area, tap into we in the Phoenix Salons, but we go into Smith and Robertson, Exquisite Cuts, and we in Suite 103. Y'all can tap in, man. I'm going to leave y'all with the phone number, 714-406-2296. You know what I'm saying? Master Barber's been doing the game. Jay been doing the game for 8 years. I've been doing it for about 20. So, I mean, you're going to get blessed if you come up in here, man. Even if it's nothing more than some free game that you can take and run with you and apply it to your life, man. So shout out to everybody that's tuning in, man. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit that subscribe. And this is just the beginning, man. Peace.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.